Good afternoon. This is Jason Stuckey, Vice President of Partner Development for ILTA. Today is February 11th, 2021, and I wanted to give everybody that is a partner with ILTA and prospective partner a general update on what is going on in ILTA land as it pertains to activities that are key and central to our business partner community. Today will just be a static recording that I will be sharing with all of you. But this is just one of several new methods we want to use in 2021 to communicate with business partners. We understand that all of you receive a deluge of emails, and reading everything might not actually be realistic. So we want to use a number of different platforms in order to communicate with you. We will be using these recordings, we will be using live webinars, we will be using email, but we'll also use social media such as LinkedIn and other options as they become available. We just understand that there's so much information that people absorb in different styles. So we wanted to start off with a recording that you can reference at your leisure. On the screen, you'll see an agenda for today's discussion. I hope to keep this, short to 10 to 15 minutes or so. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in. So moving forward to the next slide. Did just want to talk about the current state of affairs, if you will, with with ILTA. Obviously, 2020 was a challenging year with the need to move ILTACON to being a virtual event, and then really having to dig deep into devising a sponsorship program that isn't so dependent upon ILTACON. We've worked tirelessly with the Partner Advisory Council and created something called the Partner Benefit Task Force to come up with new value-added benefits and to really drive home that a sponsorship in ILTA is a 365-day endeavor. I'll talk more about that later in these slides. But as we kicked off our 2021 annual corporate sponsorship campaign, we're roughly at about 65 or so sponsors signed on for 2021 at various levels, ranging from ILTA 365 all the way to ILTA Max. And we can talk about ways that we can help everybody engage later in the presentation, and then feel free to reach out to any of us at any time to help create opportunities that best meet your company's needs. As I mentioned, we are looking at different ways to communicate with folks, and this is the first step in 2021, to do so. One thing I didn't mention a few seconds ago is we are pleased to announce that we have recently hired a new customer success manager. A gentleman's name is Tyler Howes. We're thrilled to have Tyler. Tyler has extensive experience in the legal technology space, recently coming from Defense Research Institute, DRI, and he's previously spent a number of years at LexisNexis. Tyler will be available for all post quote-unquote sales activities as a point of contact for the business partner community. And if you haven't received an email from Tyler, you will be. His goal is to connect with each business partner on a quarterly basis, just to make sure that you're taking advantage of your, ILTA 365 benefits, and just making sure that your goals are aligned with what ILTA is offering. So we're thrilled to have Tyler on board, and here is his email address. Okay, excuse me. So moving forward, I know everybody is curious about ILTACON. The current plan as it stands right now for ILTACON is it is going to be a hybrid event that consists of an online component and an in-person component. A number of us were in Las Vegas just last week, meeting with the Mandalay Bay and various organizations to try and understand what August will look like from an in-person capacity. What we know right now is we are expecting a major announcement from the governor of Nevada sometime next week that will discuss an increase in in-person capacity for events. This will then allow us to be on hopefully good footing to move forward at meaningful attendance levels for August. However, we don't expect it at this time to be fully have full capacity at 100%. What we are anticipating next week is an increase to 50%. If that milestone increases, that would be fantastic, but we have to use the information we have available at this time to plan accordingly. So what that means is we are anticipating, when this information becomes available, that there will be some restrictions on the booth sizes that we can allow in the exhibit hall. There will also be, more importantly, a cap on the number of total people that can be affiliated with ILTACON within the convention center and the exhibition space. That number is currently hovering around 1,000 people or so, and that roughly breaks out to about 600 attendees, 300 exhibitors, and then 100 or so ancillary, including ILTA staff, support staff, and the likes of that. We don't have everything available to us at this point in terms of how we're going to execute upon that. But what I would want to share and just put out there for people to be considering is that, in the past, if you've, had a booth larger than a 10 by 20, it probably isn't a realistic thing to want to secure for 2021, just because you won't have the ability to man it appropriately. Conversely, there are demo rooms and hospitality suites that will be available, and they may be something people want to take a look at to either complement or offset any type of limitation you have, within your booth. Again, all of this is preliminary. We're just putting it out there for people to begin to think about. We hope to have more information, as I said, within the coming week or so, but wanted to, again, put that out there as we are going to start the process of planning ILTACON accordingly. So want to give everybody enough ramp up time. As far as the online component is concerned, the current thinking is it will model elements of what ILTA-On was this past August, but we are, again, in the early stages of developing that. We have not determined if it's going to be an asynchronous event or if it's going to be fully simulcast or variations, thereof. We just haven't, we have not determined that yet. I would expect some level of simulcast. Several education sessions will probably be shared at the same time, but that full plan is just not fleshed out. However, though, there will be opportunities, again, for companies that do not want to participate in person to participate in ILTACON virtually. And again, more information will be available as we have that. So as we are moving down the path of preparing to do ILTACON in person, wanted to share a set of upcoming timelines that are going to be important. As we will be doing a booth lottery, it will be necessary that all companies have paid their $5,000 ILTA 365 portion of their sponsorship no later than March 8th, and there are no exceptions. If a company is not paid by that date, you're not eligible to participate in the booth lottery. However, you will be able to select a booth after the booth selection process has been completed. Also, excuse me, understanding that many of you selected ILTA 365 not knowing what was going to happen in August. If you want to upgrade your ILTA 365 to a silver level or higher, so you have a booth space for ILTACON, you'll need to let us know of your intent to upgrade, again, by March the 8th. Then moving forward, the current plan is to have the actual booth lottery for ILTA Max through Silver the week of March 15th, with the actual booth selection process starting either the week of March 29th or April 5th, depending on a few logistical issues that we need to iron out with Las Vegas from a floor plan perspective and getting a few things nailed down. So moving forward, I did mention ILTA 365, and as a refresher, this was a new package that replaced the bronze sponsorship that we launched in 2021. The fundamental goal of it was to create a package that had a list of activities that were available a list of activities and benefits and deliverables that were available to business partners on a 365-day basis. At its core, what ILTA 365 is your initial access point into sponsoring ILTA that has no ILTACON-related activities. However, on sponsorship levels silver and above, ILTA 365 is incorporated along with your ILTACON deliverables. It is key to point out, though, that in order to leverage any other activity or sponsorship with ILTA, every company does need to secure an ILTA 365 level, at least an ILTA 365 baseline level of sponsorship. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, we have worked closely with the Partner Advisory Council and the Benefit Partners Task Force to increase the number of value-added benefits available to our business partner community. And you'll be able to see these in a new media and sponsor kit that was just sent out in the last few days or so. In particular, on excuse me, on pages 5 and 6, highlights all of the value-added benefits that are available to our business partners, and a number of those are engagement opportunities and showcasing of products and services opportunities that are included with your sponsorship. So please look carefully at that. This sponsorship kit focuses on all non-ILTACON and legal sec opportunities. Those respective events will have their own prospectuses here shortly. And it's also important to point out that if you want to take advantage of any of the opportunities in the kit, order forms are included, and you should be able to click through the kit directly and and place your order. If not, again, feel free to reach out to the sponsorship team at the sponsor@iltanet.org email address. So as we wrap up, want to just point out, again, a number of things that are on the horizon, and all of this is available in the sponsor and media kit. We have a number of virtual events that have already kicked off and are scheduled for not only the rest of Q1, but for the rest of the year. And again, a number of those are enumerated in the sponsor and media kit. But we do have an ongoing Women Who Lead virtual roadshow series. We have a virtual event dedicated to small firms. We have a compliance event. We have a diversity and inclusion event that's actually going on today. But keep an ear out or an eye out or virtual eye out for potentially new events as they come down the pipeline for 2021. As always, we have our quarterly peer-to-peer magazine and the advertising opportunities that are around that. And again, that information can be found in the sponsor and media kit that I referenced on the previous slide. And then new for 2021, we've launched quite a number of media opportunities focused on ILTA TV and podcast. There are a number of different subjects that we're making available, and all of those have engagement opportunities, whether it be traditional sponsorship and advertising or thought leadership or what have you. And these are all being done on an ongoing basis. And I would encourage you to check those out if you're looking especially to demonstrate your thought leadership. So with that in mind, just want to wrap up with a thank you. As I mentioned, any questions that you have, please send through to sponsor@iltanet.org. I imagine there are many questions, as there are, quite frankly, still a number of unknowns. But as we get more information, we will share those with you. As I mentioned, we are going to be swapping out the types of ways we communicate with the business partner community. We are planning a live webinar in March where we will hopefully have more details so we can be more reactive, more quickly reactive in our responses to any questions that you have. Again, we will also continue with emails. As I mentioned, we'll also be posting things out on social media as applicable. So with that, I just want to say thank you very much for taking a few minutes to listen to this recording. And again, feel free to reach out with any questions. Look forward to speaking with everybody soon. Take care.